Hey guys, welcome back to Legends Unleashed. Today we are going to talk about our week one predictions, go through them real quickly and just what we like about the matchup and what who we think will win. And then today was a big day in the NFL actually, as teams made their 53-man roster finalized.
Yeah,
Now, disclaimer, it's not going to be the same 53-man roster throughout the whole season. Obviously, there's trades, there's
yeah,
cuts. So this is a 53 that starts the season,
yeah,
and we're going to talk about a little bit of our surprises, who we thought were surprised who got cut.
yeah. I mean, it's going to look entirely different for all these teams throughout the next couple of days because the people gonna be is roster shuffling and just this is not their initial 52-man roster as you just said.
But I mean, it's a good start for them, and that
Yeah,
puts them in the right position. So we'll just go through real quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time. The bulk of this video is going to be their week one predictions.
yes,
The biggest thing is getting through, or just going real quick on these roster cuts, what we thought was a surprise. If you have your predict or want to say yours, go ahead. But like I said, we're not spending a lot of time on it. We're just gonna go pretty quickly. So,
yeah,
um, so for a couple for me, we'll start out with, and we talked a little bit beforehand before starting to film this video, talk about some surprises, and some really shocked me. He told me, and we talked about some other ones, but for the Bills, I thought, cutting KJ Hamler, a good depth piece they could have had for wide receiver. I know they need some help there, but that was a little
yeah,
bit of surprise. And a really big one too was Kareem Jackson, a veteran safety. Now he's done a little bit on the older side for NFL terms, but he's still a good depth piece they
yeah,
had. And I thought he was going to stay there to help that secondary out a little bit because they took a lot of cuts in the secondary this offseason. I mean, they got rid of Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, and Jordan Pryor.
yeah.
So
All right, so a big one for me uh, was the Arizona Cardinals cutting Desmond Ritter.
absolutely.
The reason why I mean he has not been a good quarterback in the NFL. I thought that so it was a battle between him and Clayton Tune. But the fact that you traded a receiver of Rondale Moore,
Who's got the capability of being a really good wide receiver.
yeah.
Never thought about
Now, unfortunately, we all know though that uh, Rondale Moore is out for the year. But
that. He's still
but yes, like this is beside the point. They traded him away before he got injured. But I thought that was a big surprise because with the uncertainty, I mean I feel like a lot of people are down on him, but I'm actually really high on Kyler Murray. But you don't know with injuries, and I would rather have Desmond Ritter on my team than Clayton Tune. So that's my big surprise there.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Yeah, I mean, because I thought, they could have used that backup. I know he hasn't proven anything, and we can agree
Yeah,
to that. But the fact, like, you just never know about Kyler Murray, and I thought maybe he would be a serviceable guy for them if
yeah,
Kyler Murray was out a couple weeks, but they obviously saw something in him that they didn't like or
yeah,
whatever it may be, and maybe he'll come back in some form capacity. And when we talk about these guys going real quick, and maybe some of these guys will come back in some form of capacity for the team. It's not like they're completely cut and they're gone forever. They could bring them and say, you know what, we wanted to bring you in for practice squad or in some form of capacity that we don't know. But
yeah,
some of these, it was a shock for us. It's initially. So
yeah. See another one or
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm gonna look for one real quick.
Yeah, so a big one for me was Noah Brown of the Houston Texans.
That was huge.
Yeah,
I thought.
I was really surprised by that. Because see, I know that he was a part of he was like their wide receiver three last year, and I remember him being really solid for them last year when he was healthy, and uh, but he was supposed to go into this year as their wide receiver four. And because they have Diggs now, so I understand he's not a part of the three wide receivers anymore. But uh, he could have been a really good, solid depth piece for them. And I was really shocked that they just cut him. I mean, maybe he'll end up being back with them in the practice squad or something. But I was just really surprised by that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I liked him. He's a former Buckeye, and we're Buckeye fans. So,
Yeah.
but beside the point, with all that taken away from that, he was just a good piece for CJ Stroud, and I thought that he would have been on there in some form of capacity. And maybe he's one player they'll bring back in some way, but we don't know that right now. As of now, he's cut. He's not on the team anymore. One for me was running back Dante Foreman for the Browns. Now, Nick did say they could bring him back in some way because he follows the Browns a little bit more than I do. But just the initial cut was a little bit shocking because I think he played for the Titans.
It was the Bears.
He
I
played
think
for the Bears. I thought it was with the Titans when he backed up Derrick Henry.
he might have.
Yeah, check that. But for me, if that's, let's just check this to make sure I get my facts straight on this one.
He's played for a few teams. So he's played for the Titans, the Panthers, and the Bears.
Okay, so when he played for the Titans, I thought he was pretty good, serviceable when Derrick Henry went down, or
Yeah.
he had some decent games. So, and maybe they'll bring him back, like I said. I don't know, but I thought that was a little bit of a shock because of the fact Nick Chubb's going to miss the first 4 games. He's on the pup
And
list.
Hines is going to miss the at least the first 4 games as well because he's on the I, FFI list, something like that. I think what it's called. Something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. And then Jerome Ford is there to be their number one, right?
Yeah. Strong is going to be the wide receiver two as of right now. But I think Deontay Foreman though will be our running back two, RB two,
Yeah.
um while they're gone because the whole thing with Deontay Foreman is so his contract was terminated. So that means that his he won't be subject to waivers.
Okay.
So they can easily
Bring him back on a cheaper deal.
yeah, because right now they have 4 quarterbacks. One of those quarterbacks is gonna get traded. But yeah,
So yeah, just that was a little bit of shock just because of the initial cut, but like we're saying, it could these guys could come back. We just don't know at this
yeah.
point in time. Just looking over the list real quick. I mean,
Um,
yeah, I know this might be a boring first part, so if you want to skip it, in some capacity, I mean, you can. We're just going over real quick. It's not like we're. Part of me should have been better prepared, but
yeah, it's a late notice for the video, but
it's probably
um,
good to get the content out for you guys.
another little bit of surprise. He was a first round pick just 2 years ago. That's Caleb Farley of the Tennessee Titans.
You know, yeah, it is, and I thought they were going to use that like depth piece. I know I would say that a lot, but you have to have a lot of depth in this league. And
He's been good when healthy. His problem is though the key word is
healthy. And he's not a bad piece, and maybe some team will pick him up and he'll do okay. I mean, I really liked watching him play. He had some good plays, but we'll see what happens with him.
yeah.
Now we got rid of Hassan Haskins, running back who came over or he got from Michigan and he got drafted to Tennessee Titans. A little bit of shock there, but we'll see what happens with him. He'll probably get picked up somewhere maybe if they feel it. Tim Patrick, the Broncos,
That's
that was a big one.
that's a good one.
Now,
Doing.
now the injuries with him, I'm pretty sure he had dealt with some injuries.
Yeah, I mean the Broncos are tanking. That's the thing here. The Broncos are tanking.
I'm thinking they're trying to. With Sean Payton, he went into the same situation and they had some pretty good. They had a lot of good pieces, but when it comes to the Broncos, I think he wants to build them his way and really restructure everything. I mean, losing Russell Wilson was a big one. I was kind of shocked about, but I mean, I think he's trying to do his things his way so he can build a better franchise for the future. And it seems kind of like a long process. I mean, I'm a Raiders fan, so rebuilding seems like it every couple of years. I mean, it's just an unfortunate thing, but it seems like the Broncos are going to that route. They're gonna
Yeah,
get rid of a lot of pieces. I mean, they got rid of a lot this offseason, but
yeah,
Dante Foreman or Dante Foreman, Tim Patrick was a big one for me a little bit.
yeah. And if you watched our record prediction video, you can see that both of us are very low on the Broncos next
Yeah,
year.
two big ones for the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit. Um, Kadarius Toney. They brought in Juju, but still, I thought Kadarius Toney maybe they'll keep him around a little bit. I know he struggled at times last year, big time.
no disrespect to Kadarius Toney, but that dude couldn't catch a cold. I'm sorry. It is what it is, but he couldn't catch a cold.
And that, a lot of problems with not catching the ball. But I mean, he down the stretch he played a little bit better.
He always came to this during the Super Bowl at weird moments, but
I don't get it. Like he's like not good in the regular season. He's like, give me a chance. It's like from the first Spider-Man. I beg for mercy, give me a chance. And then he goes out and goes in the Super Bowl and he plays good. It doesn't make sense. He had the longest punt return
yeah,
in Super Bowl history.
it's
Um,
week one last year when the huge moment when he like right in his hands,
and he dropped it.
he dropped it and went right into the dude's uh chest and dude took it for to six.
Now I was high on this guy coming out of the NFL, but Justin Ross, I know he's got some health concerns too. He got cut by the Chiefs today. Really wish he gets picked up somewhere because if he stays healthy and he can work on his route running and everything else, he can work on everything. He could be an awesome target. I wanted the Raiders to pick him up because the speed factor. If Al Davis was still alive, that would have been an Al Davis pick.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate now because he had really really bad health concerns when entering the draft. That's why he went undrafted. Took a while, I believe, for him to get signed too. I mean, maybe not. That was a long time ago, but then the Chiefs picked him up, and also as a Browns fan at that time, because our receiver core was awful that year. I really wanted Justin Ross to get picked up by us as well.
Man, a couple for the Chargers. One is Cornelius Johnson, who, their head coach is Jim Harbaugh, and he coached Cornelius Johnson at Michigan, and I thought he was going to keep him and really utilize him.
Yeah,
Um, I'm glad they cut Alex Leatherwood. Oh, terrible.
he was the Browns
Uh,
last year.
oh, he's terrible.
He never played
No, he's terrible.
first round pick.
Oh, I got the wrong name, so never mind on that one. So just one for me. Uh,
What happened?
I read they cut Jeremiah Jean Baptiste. I thought it was the guy from Ohio State, then went to Notre Dame. But that's Javante.
Devontae, yeah.
Yeah, probably his brother, my guess. I mean, sounds like it. But like I said, we're just going real quick.
Yeah, maybe
Carl Lawson, is that right? Carl Lawson from the Cowboys got cut.
Adrian Amos
From who?
from the Jaguars.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, 31. He got cut.
Allen Robinson from the Giants got cut.
Yeah, that's I mean,
But it doesn't surprise me as much because of his age, and he's not the same player.
no,
And maybe he'll turn out somewhere and be really good.
yeah,
I'm just like I said.
yeah. So usually we for big news, like we wanted to do a YouTube short and post. T now some so today, uh, Tuesday, the day that this video is being recorded, uh, we both work, so we are not able to do YouTube shorts while we're working. So so a lot of the big news. I'll try to still get a YouTube short out there, but it won't be until late at night. So sorry that if I'm posting a short that's like, or one of us will post a short when it's like 5 hours after the news was announced.
It's probably under 5 hours, but it's a little delayed. We thank you in advance for really showing us the love on those YouTube shorts, the views we're getting, and get our name out a little bit. It helps us. But yeah, and so I don't want people going to come saying, "Oh, you didn't post this right as it came out." Like, who cares? We at least got it out, and we're at least trying to make an effort to make it better.
We're not getting paid for this, so we still have to go to work.
Yeah,
And we will both get yelled at if we do YouTube on while we're working. So
yeah, we got busy jobs. Um, Paris Campbell for the Eagles.
yeah, that didn't really surprise me that much.
I'm just,
It's something now.
yeah,
Um,
I'm just looking at names. Like I said, I'm not really.
some small news. The Bills are hosting former Jets and Dolphins quarterback Mike White on a free agent visit. Like
Who are
the Bills are hosting them,
okay?
which it could be a good solid backup for them.
Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones got cut by the Lions.
Yeah,
Trade for him last year, and I thought maybe he would pan out.
I'm a big DPJ defender. The fall off definitely needs to be studied, but I really hope he lands on his feet because he was a fan favorite in Cleveland, so I wish him all the best.
Absolutely. Uh, Nick's favorite player got cut today, Sean Clifford.
Sean Clifford.
Funny story about Sean Clifford, by the way. I messaged him once saying, "Hey, congrats on your commitment to Penn State." I said, "You excited?" He said, "Yeah, man, for sure." And I said, "Hey, tell you this, go Buckeyes." And every year we kicked his ass. Well, no fact.
About time.
We are, but I heard worse. So come on, YouTube. But other than that, really, I mean, if you have other ones, just let us know. But really, like I said, we really want to get to the
Yeah,
fun part of the video, just going through week one.
I'll start like that now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list and I'm just kind of reading names. Some of these guys I've never really heard of. And a lot of them, like I said, they may come back in some sort of capacity, like younger guys. But wish them the best. I'm hoping I mean, I don't like seeing guys hurting
Yeah,
for a job, but whatever. I don't know.
yeah, definitely not the initial.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always changing. I feel like a lot of fans just don't understand that this is not the 53 man roster that these teams are going to be having the entire year.
No, there's gonna be signings. There's gonna be
Cuts, trades.
trades. It,
It's gonna look. These 53 man rosters are going to look entirely different in the next couple of days.
absolutely. Okay, so the moment you've been waiting for, week one starts a week from this Thursday on August 29th. August 29th, a week from August 29th, with the first week of the NFL season. Are you excited?
I've been waiting this day since the day the Super Bowl ended. So
Oh, I think we all do. It's just the fun of the NFL, learn seeing different things, watching. It's just so much fun.
yeah, football is electric, and I mean, how can you not get romantic about this sport, man? It's the best sport on the planet, and it's not even close.
My favorite growing up was baseball, and I've become more of, and baseball is great and all, but it's becoming more football for me. And nothing disrespect to baseball. Baseball is still America's pastime for sure. Whatever. So by looking at the thumbnail or picture, we did the week one predictions, obviously. And then you saw Mahomes, Jackson. We didn't do that for kicks and giggles. It's obviously the week one matchup, the first game of the season, to kick off the season. It's on Thursday night. So we got Baltimore at Kansas City. Kansas City's or favored by -3. We're not doing the betting stuff, so don't. We're not doing the over under whatever it may be. We're just going to talk about it a little bit and then who we would think was going to win. So Kansas City's coming off a back-to-back Super Bowl champs. They're going to look good. I mean, it's at Kansas City, so that's going to really help their advantage. Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP. It's going to be a really awesome matchup. Kansas City's or Baltimore's defense is going to be really, really solid. Uh, so Mahomes is going to have his hands full week one, like he did last year a little bit. So what do you think, Nick? What do you think about this matchup? What are you thinking about it? Like I never reiterated, but
Um, Mahomes is going to come in ready, and with Travis Kelsey, uh, and then also having Taylor Swift in the stands, I think Travis Kelsey is going to have a huge night. Uh, the Ravens defense is going to be is loaded once again. Like I feel like I say that every year. The Ravens defense being loaded, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be too much for the Baltimore defense, and I think the Chiefs win Week 1.
you made really good points about the defense. And Mahomes is just going to be good. He's going to be electric. He's going to come out fired up. Because they want to really start off week one with a bang because they really want to get that. They really want to capture that 3P. I know they do. I mean, that's the goal for them. I guarantee it. Um, Honestly, I see Baltimore winning this. I know it sounds crazy, but I think the defense is going to put pressure on Mahomes. If they really put pressure on Mahomes, it's going to be a long night for Mahomes. Even though at Arrowhead's going to be tough. I just say a little bit of a different pick. I mean, but here's the thing that worries me about Baltimore is if the consistency on offense. You know, they struggled immensely last year in Baltimore for the AFC Championship game. They struggled immensely. So Lamar Jackson's weapons got to be better. Now he's got a better running back in the backfield than Derrick Henry. That's no question. It just I think their offense is going to get do enough to help them win, and their defense is going to really put pressure on Mahomes. And I say Baltimore's going to sneak out with a win. I think it's going to be really close though. I think it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah. Honestly, this is a stupid prediction, but I'm predicting Chiefs winning on a game-winning field goal by Harrison Butker.
I don't know. I'm not going. We're not going into the scores, but we'll just
I know.
leave it at
So
who we think.
I'm gonna do that. I think it's gonna be that close.
Oh,
So there's also a game on that Friday.
oh boy. I was shocked by this because I thought there was a incorrection on my when I was drafting my fantasy team. I was like, why Friday?
Yeah.
But then I look on this, like, wait a second, okay.
And so we got Packers Eagles Friday night.
And the Eagles are favored by -3, which if you want to do betting, that's you, not us.
Not him, but
I do little things here and there, but not the over under. I don't like that.
but it's also on Peacock. So Alex, what do you like in this matchup for Week 1?
I really like this matchup just because the Packers are coming back and they got a lot of momentum coming from last year. They really surprised, I think, some people how far they went in the playoffs and how well they played against the 49ers.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles really revamped their team. It's gonna be a little setback with they got due defense corner the Eagles. They had some really good pieces to that defense.
Yeah.
I really like the matchup. I do. Um, but I say Eagles are going to win. I really think they're just Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. He's going to be unreal this year.
Yeah.
He's got really good weapons, and I think the defense has improved in the secondary, getting really good corner and safe. Isn't Cooper Eugene a safety?
Mhm. Cool. Yeah.
Corner safety, whatever you want. I would think he's one of those two, but whatever.
Yeah.
Corner. So I think they're going to squeak by a win, and I think it's going to be a really good matchup too. I don't see it being a blowout. That's just not going to happen. But I won't be surprised if either team wins, but I say the Eagles are going to win
Yeah.
and a nail biter.
Yeah. That's um good points there. So I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. I think that into the season, he's gonna want he feel in his mind he feels like he has a lot to prove.
Oh, because they got embarrassed last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have an MVP like season. I don't, if you watch our videos in the past, you'll see who I have winning MVP. It's not Jalen Hurts, but I am a big Jalen Hurts fan, and he has some really good weapons. That defense is really, really good. I I'm also a Jordan Love defender, but I his inconsistencies is what worries me. And I think I like the Eagles' weapons a lot more than I like the Packers' weapons. And also the loss of AJ Dillon just really sucks for the Packers. I think that's going to hurt them quite a bit. And I got the Eagles coming out on top.
So too. So yeah, but yeah, it's not even. It's in Mexico. The game is.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. To see that. Yeah. Okay. So what's the next game you have? Because my games. So my app it tells me my favorite team at the top. So then it goes all over. So why don't you just go based off yours and I'll look at mine too.
Okay, some reason my Packers are not even up. So we'll go with Cardinals Bills.
Ooh. Okay. And Bills are favored by -6. So what do you think about that game, Nick?
All right, so I think it's no explanation needed. Bills are gonna win. I mean, I'm really excited though for that game to get to see Marvin Harrison Jr.'s first game, first
Regular season game for
regular
him.
season game. I don't think he even played in the preseason, but I don't remember if he did or not. I could be wrong about that. Sorry if I am. But I mean, just Josh Allen uh, is going to be too much for the Cardinals. I think it'll be a blowout, in my opinion. And uh, the loss of Stephon Diggs is going to, I think, hurt Josh Allen a little bit. But I think the combination of Sean McDermott and Josh Allen is going to be just still top team in the NFL. I think they win by quite a bit.
Yeah, I look at that game and say, the Cardinals are not ready to compete with the Bills on that level. I'm really, yeah, like I'm really excited about Marvin Harris coming to the league and really seeing what he can do, and it'll be really fun to watch him. But Bills are just at that point where they're a way more advanced team. I'm not crazy high on them this year, but I think they're still going to be electric in this game, and I think they're going to, and it's at Buffalo, so I mean that's huge for them. So I think the Bills are going to win pretty big. I think it's going to be a big blowout, but I still think Marvin's going to have an impressive game and really be fun to watch this week one. So I say big Buffalo by big.
All right. Next up, we got Patriots Bengals
At Cincinnati.
at Cincinnati. And so, Alex, are what are your feelings about this game?
You know, I think since it's at Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati's going to win. I really do. I think Patriots are just too inexperienced with a team like Cincinnati. That's going to be a really tough week one matchup. Oh, and the Bengals are favored by -9. I think it's going to be way more than that. I think Bengals are come out. Joe Burrow, hurt last year. I think he's going to come out this season and play really well. And he's got Jamar Chase. I'm hoping he can start week one for them, and it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah, he is expecting to play week one. Still hasn't got the contract yet, but as I mentioned in that short the other day, though, that he's on the field, he's practicing, and he is expected to play week one.
And that's good for them. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So I really think the Bengals are going to win big. Um, I mean, just having T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and I think it depends on who plays quarterback for the Patriots. I mean, even if it's Jacoby Brissett, I think that's still going to be a little bit too much for them to handle. But it'll be fun to watch and see how Gerard Mayo handles his being a head coach week one. So
yeah. So another game where I think there's not that much explanation needed because I think the Patriots are on another rebuilding year, and I think it'll be exciting to see Gerard Mayo's uh first game where he's going to be the coach, and but Jamar Chase, T Higgins, and don't sleep on Jermaine Burton out of Alabama. He's a really solid player. Yeah, and with Burrow, coming back from his injury, we'll see how he does week one. Uh, Coming back from that, he did play in preseason, but we'll see. I think Cincinnati wins big.
and another thing I'm looking forward to and seeing, or well, now they don't have Joe Mixon, and he's been with that team forever.
Yeah.
Now they got Zach Moss. Really see how he does because he sat behind Jonathan Taylor forever in Indianapolis, and hopefully he can go out there and prove himself, saying, "Hey, I'm worth that money you're paying me
Yeah.
to be your starting running back," and hopefully he can show up and be really good for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Vikings Giants.
Ooh. See, to me, this matchup is going to be a ugly one. I really just don't. And this is at New York, and New York, Minnesota actually on my app is favored by one. That's, I mean, to me, I really don't know if I have a really true winner in this one because I think the teams are so bad. I,
Trash versus garbage. No offense to you, Vikings or Giants fans.
it's not, I think the Vikings are a little bit better positioned if JJ McCarthy was there, if he was starting, because he gives them a better advantage, I think, than Sam Darnold.
I mean, maybe with the running ability.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean,
it's hard to tell.
yeah,
But I'm gonna go with the Giants. I know it's kind of a little bit of a shock, but I'm gonna go with the Giants just because I think they're at home, and I think Daniel Jones has got lots to prove, and I think he's got some weapons, and I think it's gonna be an ugly game, but I think the Giants are gonna squeak by in that game. I don't really have much to say about this game because it's not gonna be a pretty game. I think it's
yeah.
gonna be rough to watch.
So that's a good point. But I'm gonna go the opposite. I have the Vikings winning this one. I think the Vikings weapons are just better than the Giants weapons. They don't have Saquon Barkley anymore. The loss of Kirk Cousins will hurt them quite a bit. I don't think they're gonna be very good this year. But I think their weapons are still too good. And now obviously they're not gonna have Hawkinson for the first how many weeks because he's still nursing back from that Hawkinson. Yeah, TJ Hawkinson.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
But I think though that the Vikings weapons are going to be too good. But I have zero touchdowns happening in this game. I have Vikings winning 9-6.
Stupid. Whatever. Go ahead. I just think it's gonna be ugly. We can admit that it's not gonna be. I just can't see Sam Darnold being really effective in this game. Now he's got Justin Jefferson, but hopefully he can get the ball to him and they can
Jordan Addison.
and Jordan Addison. But we'll see. I don't think it's gonna be a field goal massacre, but
Nine
stranger
six.
things have happened.
9-6.
Mark my if he's right, we gotta do something for him.
All right. Next up, got another barn burner. Titans Bears.
What was it? Titans Bears.
Yeah.
This is gonna be actually it might be a really good game. Um, and it's at Chicago, and Chicago's favored by -4.5. I'm really gonna go with the. It's crazy to say. I think Chicago might win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams is gonna come out and he's gonna prove. I think he's gonna work his butt off to prove he's the number one overall pick,
Yeah.
and he should have been taken as the or he's the reason he was the number one quarterback taken.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, I mean, I think he's going to prove something, and I think he's going to really come out and do a really good job for them. I mean, he's got his weapons, he's got the line. I mean, he's ready to go. I don't think Titans are going to go. I think it's going to be a closer game. I'm excited to see the Titans with the new head coach because they've had Vrabel for a while. And without Derrick Henry, I mean, that would be a little bit different watching that. Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. But I would be interested to see the Titans too, a little bit different offense and how they go. But I'm excited to see this game. But I think Chicago's going to go out. Caleb Williams going to say, you know what? I deserve to be that number one overall pick, and I'm going to prove you guys wrong.
Yeah. All right. Good points. So I am also going to agree with him. I have the Bears winning. I think it'll be close-ish. But I think with the Bear, I think Caleb Williams. I think he's going to come out and he's going to prove to everybody that he's that guy. I think the addition of Rome Odunze is going to just skyrocket that offense, and also with Keenan Allen, and also still having DJ Moore, I think that's going to be just too much for the Titans, and I think the Bears come out on top. And I don't like the QB situation right now with the Titans.
I like Will Levis, but the big factor, if he has a good game, he's got to have a good game if they want a chance to win this. If he comes out and really struggles, it's gonna be a long day for the Titans. But I think they'll make it competitive. I mean, they got good weapons, they got a little bit better defense, so I think it's gonna be a really fun game to watch. Just two teams want to prove themselves week one.
Next up, Panthers Saints.
Panthers Saints, to me, where's that? Carolina at New Orleans. New Orleans favored by -4. I'm gonna go a bit of a shock here, and Nick probably knows where I'm going. I'm gonna pick the Panthers only because I think Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's got a little bit to prove to himself that he should be he was the number one overall quarterback taken last year. I think he wants to go out there and prove it. He can do it and denied all the criticism. I don't. I think the Saints are going to struggle. Really, they don't have the weapons they used to have. And I think Derek Carr. It's going to be a struggle for Derek Carr. But I really think the Panthers can do this if they work hard and really play all together in unison. I think they'll win this game. It's not going to be an easy game. Uh, just in general, I just think both teams really got a lot to prove, and I just don't know if they're going to be. It's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring offense. Sorry if when I thinking about stuff I want to say, I kind of draw a blank for a while. But I don't think it's going to be a really high scoring offense game. But I have the Panthers coming up with an upset. I really do.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't stand up there is because it's not. I mean, the Saints are only favored by four. So like, more of a thing is like, I don't think the Saints are very good either. So, uh, I I, I like I liked Derek Carr. He's at that point though with his age, so that
Oh, I love Derek Carr. I'm a huge Derek Carr
yeah, he's not the same uh dude anymore. I do like the big Chris Olave fan.
Oh yeah.
But I think But I do think though that um, this is backwards.
No, it was yeah.
um, but but Chris Olave though, and I think though this, the Panthers with Bryce Young, I I hope he comes out and proves that he should have been the number one overall pick taken, or he was. And but I think that the Saints are going to come out on top in a close, close matchup.
Yeah, the first one's a good question for me.
Next one up, it's one of my favorite games of the week. Steelers Falcons.
Yeah, I think that should be a really good game. It's at Atlanta. It's -3 is Atlanta favored. I think it's gonna be a really fun matchup because Arthur Smith is coming back to Atlanta, being the offense coordinator for the Steelers. Uh, and the Falcons revamped their team, looking like a lot better team than they were a year ago. Steelers got a new quarterback starting, Russell Wilson. So I really think this could be a fun matchup. I'm gonna go with Atlanta and a nail biter too. I think this could be a really fun matchup. Um, I say with addition Kirk Cousins and then the weapons they got, I think it's gonna really and Kyle Pitts is gonna elevate in this game. I think it's gonna really show that they really want to spend that money on Kirk Cousins. He's got to really prove that they didn't make a mistake in this game. But I think it's going to be a really fun game, and I think it'll go back and forth for a while, but the Falcons will pull it off in the end.
Good points there. So I love the Falcons moves this offseason. I think that they have really revamped that team in such a great way. I'm so high on them going into this year, and I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a monster year. I think I think the Falcons. I'm just gonna keep this short. I think the Falcons defense is going to be too much for the Steelers offense. I think they're going to be Russell Wilson is not going to hit them in my opinion, and I think it'll be a close game, but the Falcons coming up on top.
Interesting. Interesting. Thinking of Russell Wilson's going to get when he gets going. I don't know. I mean, it is.
He is not the same dude he used to be. It's a fact. He's not been good since he's
I
a
mean that for you, that's something he's got to prove. If he can prove he could be,
yeah.
if they can go out and dominate.
If he can prove it, that's great. I mean, good for him. But I've always liked Russell Wilson. He just hasn't really been the same guy since he left Seattle. And the question is he a system quarterback or is he not? Well,
Well, and the weapons that the Steelers have is not what it should be.
they need Brandon Ayuk, but I still don't understand where that situation
I have no idea.
is happening with that. All right, next one. Ooh, Jaguars Dolphins.
That's gonna be a really good game too. I really, you know, Jaguars lost Calvin Ridley. That's gonna hurt them a little bit, I think. They brought in Gabe Davis. Hopefully, he can have a good game for them. Um, we talked about the Dolphins at length. The awesome weapons they have, especially Tyreek Hill, who was the number one player in the 100 top 100 list on the NFL Network. I think it was who does that. Yeah, yeah. So I think um, I honestly I'm gonna go into a bold prediction. I think it's gonna be the Jaguars coming out a little bit. I mean, I know. I mean, this game is gonna be really good too, and it's at Miami, and Miami is favored by -3.5. But honestly, I could see Jacksonville pulling out with a win. I think they're gonna take a step in the right direction by doing that, and because I think they really need a lot to prove. I mean, going to the playoffs 2 years ago when Doug Peterson first started, and then losing it and not going to the playoffs last year.
They started the year off really well, and then they just ended the season really poorly last year, and then ended up missing it altogether.
Yeah, so I think Jacksonville's got a lot to prove, and Miami does too. I mean, Miami, I know it was a tough situation in the playoff game the last year when it was bitter cold in Kansas City, but they should go out there. Both teams got to prove something because I think the Dolphins team wants to prove they can go out there and really take control of that AFC East and really get an early win. I think that's going to also hurt them is losing Christian Wilkins in free agency. That's the biggest one. Christian Wilkins. He went to the Raiders. The Raiders. But anyways, beside the point. I think Jaguars are going Miami and they're going to sneak out a win.
Good points there. I and going opposite of him. I have the Dolphins put up on top. I think it's going to be a really, really close game. Uh, I think it has a chance to be a really high scoring game.
Oh yeah,
Because of just
the offenses are real. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's got good weapons that he can put up points, and the weapons for Dolphins can put up a lot of points too.
yeah, it's with the the electricity. I'm going to say call it that of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle together is going to be too much for the Jaguars. I think it'll be a high scoring game, but I do think though that the Dolphins will come out on top. All right, next up, Texans Colts.
Um, this is probably gonna be one of my favorite matchups in week one. Really like both teams. I really do. I love the Anthony Richardson, coming back from injury. I have him winning comeback player of the year. I think he's gonna have a really good season, and I love their head coach.
Yeah.
But I think Texans at this point are just gonna be downright amazing. I mean, I think Stroud is just oh, they're stacked from top to bottom. They really are. And I think Texans are going to come out full swing in there. It's going to be a lot for the Colts to handle. Oh, it's in Indianapolis, and Texans are favored by -2.5. Thought I'd let you know that real quick. Anyways, I think Texans are going to be way too much for the, or are going to put too much on the Colts, and Colts just can't hang with them. Sorry, Colts fan. I just don't think it's going to happen. I like the Colts team in a lot of areas, but Texans are just clearly right now the best team. And I think Colts are going to have a little bit of they want a little bit of motivation. They really want to go out there because last year they dropped that the
The
Texans,
Texans in week 17.
yeah, which because if they would have won, they would have went to the playoffs. But I think Texans are going to be a Colt. It's going to be too much for the Colts to handle, and Stroud's going to go out there and dominate. So I have Texans win by a lot. I really do. But even though I really like the Colts where they're at, I just think Texans are going to be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I also think not much explanation needed. CJ Stroud, he's my MVP for the year. Prediction for the year. I think he's a win MVP. And I like you said, I do like the Colts team. I have become a bigger Anthony Richardson fan than I was when he entered the draft. I think that he has a lot of potential if he stays healthy throughout his career. But to see Stroud and the addition of Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, I just think they're going to be too much for the Colts to handle.
Yeah, absolutely. But we don't know. We'll see.
And the real snooze fest in the next one, Raiders Chargers.
Whatever. Whatever. No snooze fest there. Um. So yeah, really excited about the game. Raiders' first game. Um. It's at LA and Raider or Chargers favorites by -3.5. Tony Pierce is full-time head coach. Can he do it? Nick doesn't think so. I think he can. I think give him a little bit of time. Um. I think we improved the defensive line. Quarterback situation is going to be a little bit iffy. I give it time to work, but I think the Raiders are a little bit better at right now, and I think the Raiders win. But I think it's going to be a nail biter. Raiders have been, I think, the last 2 years. Yeah, because where are we at? 2024. Yeah, sorry. Just want to make sure I got my years right. Yeah. So ever since when Josh McDaniels took over, they played them week one and they lost to them in LA, and then they lost in LA last year. But I think Raiders are going to change that and they're going to start the season off 1-0. I just think the Chargers are a good team. I really do. It's in some areas, but I just think Herbert doesn't have the weapons, and I think it's going to be a rough start. I think for Harbaugh's week one. I think they want to go out there and try the power blues, as you would say, and go out there and try to win. But I think Raiders are going to be a little bit too much switch to the pass rush, and it's going to get to Herbert. But could be wrong, but we'll see. But I got the Raiders win.
I am higher on the Chargers this year than I am on the Raiders. I think that with Harbaugh's first game with the Chargers, his team is going to want to come out with their head on fire for him. And I think same could be said for Antonio Pierce, but I think that I I like Devontae Adams more than I like any receiver for the Chargers. But I think that I'm gonna have the Chargers winning in a very close game. I'm not really high on either of these teams, but I like Herbert a lot more than Gardner Minshew.
And
So
that's fair. Absolutely.
yeah, so that's why I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
It just depends on how the Raiders quarterback situation. I'm not worried about the run game as much. I'm not worried if the receivers get open and he can pass it. It just depends on the Gardner issue. I think the pass rush is there, and I think the defense can be better. I think they're just going to play and really want to play for Antonio Pierce, and he's going to get the most out of them. But it'll be a close game, but I can see where it can get out of hand for either team if they make mistakes.
All right, so Broncos Seahawks.
You talk about snooze fest. That's a snooze fest.
Hey, don't disrespect Seattle like that.
Uh,
Disrespect for Denver.
that's what I mean. It's at Seattle, and Seattle's favored by -5.5. I think Seattle's going to win big. I don't think Denver has a shot at all. I think they have no shot. Um, they're just, I don't think they're ready to compete. I think it's going to be a rough start for Bo Nix's career. I think Seattle's going to come out and just play really, really well. I think Seattle's going to win big. I don't have much explanation. I just don't think Denver's ready.
No, they're not. They're clearly tanking, and I think first game is going to show that how much they're tanking, and I think Seattle wins by quite a bit. I think Geno Smith is just going to dot that Broncos defense up, and I just don't think the Broncos have a shot. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year, and I just don't think Bo Nix is going to be that guy in the NFL.
I think he's going to be the guy in the NFL, but the problem is they got to be patient with him. A- And maybe it is the age. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about the age. It's just the fact if he can give him weapons and a good line. We do agree it's gonna be a bloodbath for the Broncos. I don't think they're ready, and especially playing at Seattle. If it was at Denver, I could see a little bit closer game maybe, but since it's at Seattle, uh, I just I don't know. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a brutal game.
absolutely. So next up, Tom Brady's broadcasting debut. Um, Cowboys Browns.
That's snooze fest.
What the heck are you talking about?
No. Um, Cleveland's favored by -2.5, and it's in the great city of Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Jakeem Noah, do you hear that? The great city of Cleveland, Ohio.
If the very small percentage of you watching this video
Get that?
is not you.
But anyways, um, so I think this is gonna be a really good game for Cleveland. I think they're gonna come out. Deshaun Watson's gonna have an awesome game. I've always been really high on Kevin Stefanski as being a very gutsy play caller. I think he's gonna really pull the trigger and say, "We're going after the Cowboys. We're gonna prove they're frauds." 'Cause they are a bunch of frauds. Cowboys are always frauds. I mean, sorry if you're Cowboys fans, but I just think they're not ready.
Yeah,
And the CeeDee Lamb thing's a distraction. Well, now that he's got extended, that's good for him. But I don't think Cowboys are ready to be ready week one. I think that it's in Cleveland. That's going to be tough. Those Brown fans are going to be loud, ready to go. Jim Schwartz is back as a defense coordinator. I really like Jim Schwartz. So, and I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think Browns are going to win pretty big.
it was. So
Just because I think it's in Cleveland, that's going to. I mean, Dak's going to have a lot of pressure. I think it's just going to be Dak's going to lose. I think the Dak and McCarthy
yeah,
connection. I think it's gonna be jumbled up the whole game. You know how like the crowd gets loud and they're just like confused. I think it's gonna be a tough game for Cowboys because a lot of distraction going on.
so this is how I felt going into this game. If it was in Dallas, I would be picking Dallas right now.
Absolutely.
But since it's in Cleveland, and the Browns have played very well in Cleveland the past couple of years. I mean, well, dating back to the start of last year, they played really well at home. And the defense especially has played very well at home, and not as well on the road. But I think uh, Deshaun Watson, I think is going to have his A big game. I think both defenses are loaded. I think it could. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout like you did, but I think though that our defense is the Browns defense is slightly better than the Cowboys defense, and I think it'll be a close game. Browns win by 7.
I think the biggest thing for me, the Browns, what I worry about a little bit is just their line, just staying consistent on the line. But other than that, watch out, Dallas. I hope you get trounced.
Well, the thing is though, some news on the Browns O line. They got back Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills.
Good.
That's good. Some good pieces. I mean, Jedrick Wills has been an average tackle. I mean, a lot of people are really low on him because he was drafted 10th overall. So people are going to have higher expectations for him. He's an average tackle. I would rather have an average tackle than a tackle that sucks. I don't think an average tackle sucks. I think he has his growing pains, but I think he's as not.
Last time I went to a Browns and Bengals game, and the guy I was sitting in my seat, and I think Browns or Jedrick Willis got a holding, and the guy next to me said, "Oh, come on, man! You're a first round pick. You should be holding." I said, "Dude, it's part of the NFL. Shut up."
Jedrick Wills doesn't have a lot of holding though.
He does, but it's like,
He's good for at least one a game. But I'm more fine with him than a lot of other tackles in the league, and I'm glad that he's back.
who's that one you guys had forever? Your tackle, Chuba Hubbard.
Oh yeah, we had Chuba Hubbard for a while. He was good, but then he got hurt.
There was one I thought you had that you couldn't stand.
Okay, so that wasn't Chuba Hubbard. That was I mean, if you want to go with Ohio State, Isaiah Prince would be number one on that list.
But no, we're talking about the Browns, what
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had. I can't remember, but there's one I thought you had that you couldn't stand. I'm like, why don't you get him back?
There's been a lot of players for the Browns that I can understand, but all right, next up, moving on. Commanders, Buccaneers.
It's at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 3.5. I have a surprise on this one. I mean, you may agree. I'm gonna go with Commanders. I am. I think Jaden Dano's gonna come out and he's gonna show how good and talented he is. I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think Tampa Bay's got a little bit to prove too, but I think Washington's gonna come out and really shock the world on that one a little bit because I think you're thinking it's at Tampa Bay. Baker got a contract extension. He's got to prove he can consistently be good for them. I think Washington's gonna come out. Dan Quinn's gonna get those guys ready. Still got a decent defensive line. I think they lost some pieces, but I think they'll be good enough, and I think they'll be okay. And
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry connection will be fun to watch. So I'm gonna go a little bit of a nail biter for Washington. I think they're gonna do it.
I also think it's going to be a nail biter, and I also agree with you. I think the Commanders will win. I think though that both quarterbacks, Jay Daniels and Baker Mayfield, it's going to be it's going to be a good matchup, and I think both quarterbacks will throw the ball well. I think I'm really high on Jay Daniels. I'm not high-ish. I'm not high on Baker Mayfield. I think he'll have a great year, then he'll have a bad year. So he had a great year last year. We'll see if he finally has that first time of having back-to-back
Or
good
improve
seasons.
that extension, he was worth that every penny.
Yes.
I think he'll be good. I think he'll have a good year, but I think it's gonna be a growing pain a little bit for him this year. I don't think they'll be as good as what they were.
No, and but I think the Commanders will win a pretty close game. Because in Washington, I might have them win by a couple of scores, but I think though that Commanders will come out on top. All right, next up we got Rams Lions
Sunday night football,
Sunday Night Football. Yep,
minus 3.5 for Detroit at Detroit. My guess is pretty obvious. Detroit.
Detroit, Detroit, Detroit. Yep.
They were the NFC North champs last year. They're gonna come out. I think the Rams are gonna have some good spots with Puka and Nakua. But
So
yes, but losing Aaron Donald's gonna hurt them a lot. And I think the Lions are gonna bully them up front and they're gonna drive down that field and I think they're gonna be really good and they're gonna prove that they're my Super Bowl predict winner. But I think they're gonna be really good. Rams will show highlights of good stuff, but I think Lions are gonna win pretty big though.
yeah, I personally me, I don't think this was the best. pick for Saturday Night Football. I think there was some, honestly,
Who would you pick over that?
I pick Browns Cowboys
Yeah.
or Texans Colts or
I don't know if you would do the Texans Colts. I would say either
even Steelers Falcons. I would take over that.
or Jacksonville or Miami.
That's a good one. Yeah, Jacksonville might.
I would say the Steelers. I think they're leaving
So,
there.
um, so
But it's not a bad matchup.
the Browns for the Cowboys were 420. It starts at 425 because that's Tom Brady's debut. They wanted to have a whole thing in there. So I I don't know. I would have picked somebody else, but that's just me. And also
Yeah.
I agree with Alex here. I think uh I think Lions win. And I think it'll be a blowout. I think the Lions are stacked this year. I think with Dan Campbell's gonna have his boys ready, and I think they'll win huge. I do love though. I do love Cooper Nakoa. I do love Cooper Cup. I think this will be Matthew Stafford's last year, perhaps, but before he finally hangs him up. Also, okay, I do kind of see why they picked him, because it is Matthew Stafford, playing against the Lions, so but former team. But
Well, last year he played there and
well,
they
he
booed
played
him.
he played there before that.
And they booed him.
They want the ratings.
But it's like, why would you boo him? That
Well,
man's done tirelessly for you guys.
yeah,
You guys should be appreciative, but
it's
whatever.
not his fault. His front office is gonna give him a
Team.
team.
They gave him Calvin Johnson. Oh, here you go. Here's Calvin Johnson. Okay. Who?
Megatron,
Oh yeah.
one of
Yeah.
my favorite players ever.
Something I don't know what you said. I was like, who? No. No, I thought you said a different name. I didn't hear you say Megatron.
All right, now
Last Monday Night Football. Here we
Monday
go.
Night Football, Jets, 49ers.
At San Francisco. San Francisco's minus 3.5. I'm going a big one here. I'm gonna go the New York Jets. I think they'll make their statement week one. I think they're gonna make their statement week one. Aaron Rodgers to come back from injury and put the Jets on the mark. That they need to make that statement. And if they need to make that statement, it's now. It's not going to be easy with playing at San Francisco in that defense. Calm down, you big baby.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I think Rodgers is going to come out and really, I think he's going to play really good. And, I think he was bummed out last year not playing at all. And I think he's going to come back and say, I'm still your daddy, Jet 49ers.
That was wild. That's going in a clip. Uh,
But no, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to go back and forth. I think they're both really going to be fun teams this year. But I think Jets sneak it out with a last minute field goal.
so I think this game will be close. I do. Only reason why it had nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. It has all to do with their defense.
Oh, and that too.
But I do think the 49ers, they're my Super Bowl pick. I think uh Brown Purdy now. There's still some uncertainty though with Brandon Ayuk. If Brandon Ayuk is not with that team week one, then I might change my opinion on this. Just the way Alex described it, it was just with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's gonna be ready week one. He also didn't play at all in preseason. Which his name is Sean Watson, but still, with Aaron Rodgers with the injury he's coming back from, I think he should have played at least one game in preseason. But I think 49ers win by 10.
There you have it. Those are our week one predictions and our surprises for players who got cut to make the initial 53-man roster. Like I said, let us know your week one predictions. That'll be cool to hear that. Give us some likes, share it with your friends. We want to get our name out a little bit.
Yeah.
Really enjoy doing this. This is really fun for us, just kick back and talk about football. It's like I said, it's 1 week from this Thursday. I'm recording on Tuesday, so 2 more days till a week for the season's kickoff. Let me know what game you're excited about. Just anything about football. We'd love to see your comments.
Yeah, this video probably won't get posted till Wednesday, which
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how long it uploads, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Really, I hope you enjoyed the video.